Taylor sends a man in motion. He's going to keep it. Taylor to the 45, to the 40. Cuts upfield, 35-30, 25-20. Outside of the 15, 10-5. Touchdown, Pioneers. That is a Security Federal touchdown for the Pioneers.
And second play of the game, or third play, he runs 50 yards for a touchdown.
Taylor is going to keep it. Taylor 35-30, 25-20, 15-10, 5. End zone. Touchdown, Pioneers.
And ran over a guy to get there.
Security Federal touchdown. Hands off up the middle. Ball is loose. Picked up by the Pioneers. Up in the air. Right into the hands of C.J. Taylor. Talk about being in the right place at the right time. And then Taylor didn't go down. He had to be tackled. Yep. Taylor gonna hand it off up the middle. This is going to be Ryland Holder to the 5. Holder battles his way to the end zone. Touchdown, Pioneers. 7 to go in the opening quarter. There's Ryland Holder coming out with a football.
Just hit right here. Boom. Good job.
Handoff up the middle. Here is Xander Lee to the 10, Lee to the 5, and he'll be taken down at the 5.
Lee finally getting some action there.
That is a First National Bank first down for the Pioneers. Their third of the game. And goes in motion. Inside handoff. This is going to be Grayson. Grayson past the 20. Wideouts left and right. On the keeper, this is going to be Taylor to the 5, the end zone. Touchdown, Pioneers. A Security Federal touchdown.
There.
Taylor takes it 11 yards for the shotgun. Phillips steps up. He'll be taken down at the 40-yard line.
Nate Jernigan, when he's having a big night on the defensive line tonight.
Picked up by Taylor. He's going to run to the 40, 45, 50, 45, and hit hard at the 42-yard line. Taylor may be injured. We're watching the replay up here in the booth.
He got the wood laid to him.
Man goes in motion. Here comes the blitz. Taylor's going to keep it. Taylor to the 40. Cuts inside 35. Cuts outside 30. 25, 20. And out of bounds. Inside the 20 at the 18-yard line. Inside handoff. Xander Lee. There he goes to the end zone. Touchdown, Pioneers.
He wasn't going to be denied that one.
No run. Quarterback takes the snap. Hands it off. 35-30. Holder inside the 20, out of bounds at the 18. That is Ryland Holder. Hands it to Holder. Holder's got free reign to the end zone. Touchdown, Pioneers. Security Federal touchdown for the Pioneers. As Cason Holder takes it to the house. Right out to the near side. Give goes up the middle. This is going to be Tucker. And the Pioneers are surrounding him. And Elrod hands it off up the middle. Cantrell still on his feet to the 20, to the 15, to the 10, to the 5. Touchdown, Pioneers. Let's see if they mark him. They're going to mark him at the 1. Again, Elrod takes the knee with 24 seconds to go, and that is just about going to do it. Warren County gets the win tonight over the Cannon County Lions. Final score, Warren County 48, Cannon County nothing. Payback is complete. Warren County defeats Cannon County 48-0 at Nunley Stadium Thursday night. How you doing? I'm Jay Walker with 92.1 The Ticket, and welcome to Turner Time, featuring the head coach of the Warren County Pioneer football team, Matt Turner.
Yes, sir.
And we also have with us Warren County Sports Authority, Jeff Simmons. Gentlemen, the Pioneers did what they were supposed to do Thursday night. Although I know the coach was no coach is ever really satisfied, is he? But there's a lot to work on.
Yes. They was, mixed emotions. I mean, it didn't feel like a 48-0 shutout. But a lot of mistakes that that we will overcome. But yeah, exciting to get the win for sure.
Well, we saw the highlights coming in, and let's take a look at some of the clips here. C.J. Taylor takes it 50 yards for the touchdown.
Yes, sir. Makes a good read right there and good pull. And some great downfield blocking you can see right there. And C.J.'s got the eye to make defenders miss and of course, get in the end zone. So.
He just, every single week, of course we've only played 2, but every week thus far he just makes a big play very early that just really sets the tone. And I think that probably had something to do with the fact that you wanted the ball to start the game. You win the toss and say, hey, we want to receive, because you're going to put this guy on the field who can make some plays for you really quickly.
Well, of course, you got a lethal weapon like that on offense, and an offense that believes in him and blocks for him. So shoot, yeah, we're going to go after it.
Just again right here, 39 yards, and the guy unfortunately got in his way at the 1 yard line. I don't think he will next time.
Right? No, that's that guy that saves Cannon County from that touchdown or not, and of course you see what happens there. So we can't block them all, but CJ's got to make a miss, and that's what happened there.
Here's our third touchdown.
This puts Warren County up 28-0 going into halftime, and Coach, you knew that you wanted to come out and you wanted to make a statement. What kind of statement did your offense make, especially with the ability to just pound Cannon County over and over again? As we see with CJ's runs and just how the offense was focused in this.
Well, right now, I'm a hard nose. I feel like in high school football, to win ball games, you got to be able to run the football. There's a lot to passing in football, and of course I feel it's almost flipped that we run the ball so we can pass the ball. In the collegiate level and other levels, they throw the ball so they can run the ball. We're going to line up every Friday night and dominate up front, because our offensive line and just the mindset of our backs and the guys that we get the ball, we're going to run and make you stop us. That. And obviously that's what we try to do. We try to set the tone by smash mouth football.
Coach, not everything went well. We had 5 touchdowns called back for penalties.
I know. Very frustrating. And of course that frustrated some of the guys as well, as far as, Clay Thompson was very distraught after the game, and because he had to call back, and of course a lot of them was I still go back to the first game jitters, or not first game jitters, but just mistakes, going back to the COVID situation where no spring game, no jamboree, no scrimmages during the fall, to teach, because some of those people doesn't realize, but a lot of those penalties was on our offensive line because they was lined up too deep. And a simple moving up 6 inches by our right guard and right tackle, that play is a touchdown.
Yeah, here, this was actually CJ's 3rd carry of the game. He had already scored on his first 2, and scores impressive run here, gets called back, wiped out. He would have had 3 touchdowns on his first 3, and then we go right into another one where Cason Holder scores what would have been his first career touchdown. We get called for holding right at the goal line.
Yeah, and of course that goes back to Clay Thompson. And talking about Clay, Clay haven't had an opportunity to work wide receiver blocking, open field blocking, just because he's been working as the rotation in the quarterback. And that's just a hustle effort. And if Clay's hands are inside the breastplate, that play doesn't. That flag doesn't get thrown, and it's a touchdown. So very frustrating, but very correctable.
It just keeps going. It just keeps going. CJ throws a touchdown pass right here. This is what you were talking about with the offensive line.
Yep.
Does it if it's lined up correctly? This is a highlight reel play.
Yes,
that
sir.
Gets the crowd going. And CJ puts it right on the money. I mean, the play's great.
It's a great play.
Perfect pitch and catch.
I mean, it's technically a technicality on the offensive line being too far back. When it first happened Friday night, I thought it was a holding call, but after reviewing film and stuff like that, it was a misalignment by our offensive lineman where they was too deep. And the bad thing is the people don't know, but they're doing what I'm asking them to do because we want to be as far back off that line as we can so we can see what the defense is doing. Obviously, we didn't readjust when that ref gave us that warning. So, but correctable, very correctable.
Another nice throw and catch.
This was
by Thompson.
A barely perceptible push off.
Yeah, it depends on who you're, who's what side of the view and camera you're on. But I didn't feel like it was pushing off. I felt like Clay was kind of finding out where the defender was and made a play on the ball.
And then too many men moving before the snap here. This was actually the third touchdown on this drive alone. But both of your wings go in motion. You get a legal motion penalty. You have to get this one called back. I mean, that drive you had to score 4 times to finally put the game to put the game in the mercy rule. And I don't think you were very happy at the sidelines at that point.
No. I know Mr. Walker and Mr. Lee up in the commentary, and even Simmons. I think he was on the sideline doing commentary. Very frustrating. Very frustrating as far as 2 guys in motion. But I think a lot of times, we was discussing things as far as putting things on our quarterback, and he's got to get up there and get things set. And second gating jitters, so I mean technically this was our second scrimmage, the way I look at it, and all these can be corrected. So,
well, the big guy got the ball, got to run with it. Xander Lee,
big Xander Lee, yep. Xander Lee. It could be a dominant force, of course. Right there he is, right there. I mean, that's 250 plus pounds of a man that nobody in the state of Tennessee wants to take down, and he's going to his yards after contact should be huge.
I think I wrote in one story that the only running back in Tennessee that's bigger than Xander Lee is Derrick Henry.
Probably, but I want you to see right there. You had Brian McNulty and Dean Galloway right there, the left guard, left tackle. They're still carrying that kid off. So it doesn't matter if I was running the ball. I'm going to score right there. Because they're toting that poor defensive tackle plumb off. So I'm expecting big things out of Xander. He's kind of been bummed up with his knee. I've asked my coaching staff to make sure we get him ready to go. And, of course, this week I want Rockvale to have to tackle him multiple times this game.
You were able to get some new running backs in. Stephen Curtis, we've been watching him kick the ball, but we didn't know he could run like that. And Eli Cantrell as well.
Yeah, Steven comes in, and and of course that's this is a soccer player turned kicker turned running back, and he's just that guy that's in practice that just hustles, and he makes the coaches refuse to play him. We've got to find a place on the field for him. Of course, that ball right there, is a bad snap. That just shows his awareness of the game and what's important, ball security, and of course he takes off. So that was neat to see that, and of course I know the Eli Cantrell highlights coming up, and this was probably the play of the game for me. This kid comes in here and refuses to get knocked down. He literally railroads 2 Cannon County defenders on his way to the end zone.
Should have been a touchdown right there.
Yes, the pylon. I don't see how that's not a touchdown, but I think also that the refs might have been trying to keep it clean for the Cannon County.
He gets in on the 1 yard.
He does
next one. So he got his touchdown. But it was a great run, and it just shows the talent that you have in the backfield. You bring in Tony Curtis, who's running third string, I guess you would say, with Xander and Ryland, and then you got Eli right behind him. and you're just still churning out yards. And I think that's a credit to the offensive line that you had in at the end of the game too. Those guys are blocking hard.
Yeah, you see Mark Bolden and McCormick, and I mean that whole offensive line is pretty fresh right there. We, slow mo right there. I'm seeing so many mistakes as far as our offensive linemen. We actually, which is giving Coach Rice some options to try to defend this week, but and that was so important, and it's so huge. People don't realize how important it is to get those young guys on the field and let them experience. But right there, boom, and he's just not being denied that end zone. So I'm excited about Eli Cantrell. And people don't realize Eli played a lot of linebacker this week because our starting linebacker, Braylon Grayson, did not play. We put Eli in there, and he had as many highlights on defense as he did that one run right there.
Coach looking at some numbers from Thursday night. Passing, CJ 5 for 7 for 31 yards. Kaysen Holder with 4 catches for 30 yards. Rushing, CJ 10 carries, 144 yards and 3 touchdowns. Ryland Holder, 4 carries, 48 yards and a touchdown. Eli Cantrell, 4 carries, 42 yards and a touchdown. Tony Curtis, 4 carries for 34 yards. Kaysen Holder, Xander Lee had touchdown runs.
Yep.
Defensively, C.J. Taylor, 2 forced fumbles and 2 recoveries. Kaysen Holder with 7 tackles. Braden Bottoms with 2 tackles and a sack. Ryland Holder, Dean Galloway, forced fumble. Caden Jordan, Aaron Ashburn, fumble recoveries. So some pretty good numbers.
Yes, sir. Especially I'm very, very proud of Coach Bond and what he's got those defensive guys believing in, and then takeaways and turnovers and I think that come Monday they're going to be salty because they didn't score on defense. Yep. They want to take that fumble they want to score on defense. They want to put their own points on the board. So I'm excited to see how that defense is going to keep evolving with Coach Bond.
First shutout in 6 years.
Well, that's huge. That's awesome. And Coach Bond, he's doing a great job. Him and Coach Ramsey, and Donnie Harris is our D-line coach. And I know that's a new role for Donnie Harris this year, and he's doing a great job.
Time now for the tough question for Turner. Let's go to the Warren County Sports Authority.
Absolutely, Coach. We had a new long-time listener, first-time emailer is what sent in. John comes in and says that he's heard all the post-game comments that you made and read them on our Warren County Sports Authority website about the penalties and about the mishaps and then the miscommunications. And he said that you put the responsibility on your coaching staff to fix that. Mm-hmm. He wonders, what are you going to do in practice to make sure this doesn't happen again? Because you're going to be playing a team this Friday that's probably talent level a little bit better than the first 2 teams you've played. What are you going to do in practice to clean up these mistakes?
Well, I feel like all the mistakes that we did make, do eventually, inevitably fall on my shoulders as a head coach. But at the same time, right below me is the staff. And I'm a firm believer that whatever you see on Friday night is the same things you're allowing to happen Monday through Thursday. And so we had a great coaching meeting this week, came up with a great coaching plan, left the egos at the door, and actually talked about the things that we can do individually at our own position coaches, and positions as far as what can we do better, what are we, because the film don't lie. As far as either whether it be 2 men in motion, the offensive line being on, ball security, very complimentary on our defense, and I don't want to jinx them, but I don't think we had any defensive league penalties this week. And Coach Schultz is doing a good job of offensive coordinator. But at the same time, it's his first year. He's getting his feet wet, trying to figure out his rhythm, figuring out how his staff gels and how things go that way. But the biggest key, I think, what we're going to do this week in practice is continue doing what we're doing, because I feel like we've been doing the right things, but we got to be more assertive in the communication and the follow through, and holding me as a head coach. I'm going to hold my staff to a higher level, and in turn I want my staff to hold their players at a higher level. So that's how we're going to address it, and that's how we're going to try to minimize and eliminate these penalties. And what'd you say, five turnovers, five touchdowns,
call back.
And not taking away nothing from Cannon County, but that game should have been put away at the half. But and that's where and this is a lot of new for Warren County. Warren County usually hasn't been on that side of the spectrum. As far as how to win and how to number twos going in there and executing just as well as the number ones. Most of the time it's been flip side, and I hate to say it, but I've been a part of it. Warren County is the losing side of that, and we're just throwing kids out there to get them playing time, and that wasn't the case Friday night. And we got to practice what we preach and just communicate and communicate with everything between me and the staff, coaches and the players, and player to player. So communication and just continue grinding.
Well, we appreciate John sending that in. If you want to email
yes,
a
sir.
tough question for Turner,
that
you can email
bad.
that to wcsportsauthority@gmail.com. We appreciate that again, and anytime you want to email those in, let us know.
All right, let's find out who our Player of the Week is, sponsored by Security Federal, Jeff Simmons.
Security Federal Player of the Week this week will be Kason Holder, who scores his first touchdown of his career. He had 7 touches offensively for 62 yards, including his touchdown, and had I believe the opening kickoff for 28 yards. So he ended up with total of 90 yards offensively, or total yards. And he also had 7 tackles and 2 tackles for loss on the defensive side. He seemed like he was doing it both ways for you.
Yeah, Kason, he's like I said, he's been that kid that young man that's been, he's kind of been the ace in the hole, along with him and some other guys. But, Kason plays both ways, plays special teams, and he's that guy that says, Coach, put me on the return team, put me on the kickoff team, because he knows he wants to get in there and be successful. And in his to tell you about his character, this is a kid that I called his number. I went to Coach Schultz and said, hey, let's hit that counter with Kason. And Kason goes out there and just actually bobbles the ball and has a turnover on us, but he was able to overcome that, burn the ship, move on, and continue to keep pounding for the Pioneers there. And of course gets his end zone right there. But I think this is a young man that we're going to see a lot of, and we're going to continue to develop and continue to build off of. So, great job with Kason Holder. He makes coaching pretty easy.
So congratulations to Kason Holder, the Security Federal Player of the Week. Well, we start the region battles this week, Coach. We'll be going to Rockville. And, of course, we like to look back at last week's game. You took a chance there going for a 2-point conversion instead of going for the tie. And I think that kind of set the tone in everybody's mind for how Matt Turner was going to be coaching.
That's not a call. Especially in my mindset, I'm an offensive lineman. I'm always going to go for it.
Yeah.
And the thing about people doesn't realize my offensive line and my offense at that time, even last year, said, Coach, we got this. Line up and let's go for it. Go for it. Don't, we're not taking this into overtime. Let's finish it now. So, it's an easy call. Of course, that's what we're watching now, I guess. Yep. Very fun. And, of course, that was a highlight right there. Same highlight we saw Friday night. Except that year it was Austin McBride and Dylan Haley. This year it was Brian McNulty and Dean Galloway. So I'm expecting to see some more of that this week.
Oh, yeah, last year you come into this game. At this point last year you were coming off the Cannon County loss, and then everybody was wondering, there's this new program, Rockville, out of Rutherford County. Are they going to come in and get their first career or their first win in program history? Everybody was predicting them to do it, and then, like you said, you get down here, decide, we're watching it right now, 35-34, you're with about a minute to go, and you're putting the offense out there and you're putting the ball in C.J. Taylor's hands.
Yeah, whether it was C.J. or, in that case that was a tailback and the position we had right there. But like I said, I believe I could have ran in with that hole, the way the offensive line, they're buying into that system. They didn't care if they was from Rutherford County, Murfreesboro, Rockville. They didn't care. The thing there, though, was at Nunley Stadium. We was at home, and, we wasn't going to lose that ball game, and I think that's something these kids are buying into. And of course, these seniors now, we got a taste of that, beating Rutherford County schools. They're no different than we are.
Mm-hmm. I think it was my pregame speech that did that.
It was, wasn't it? Because that was your 250th show.
It was.
Yes, sir.
Last year's win over Rockville snapped a lot of different losing streaks, Jeff.
Yeah, absolutely. We went into that game, and Warren County hadn't won a region game since 2016. They had beaten Coffee County at that time, so it snapped a 3-year losing streak in the region, but it also snapped a 22-year losing streak to Rutherford County schools.
That's right.
You know, when Warren County was placed in this region that includes most of the Murfreesboro schools, we had played 18 Rutherford County teams in region games and had lost all 18 games.
That's right.
By a combined 747 points. Then you come out and you win this game. You go on and beat Siegel as well. So I mean, you get 2 Rutherford County wins, but this win was gigantic at the time.
It's
a
huge.
Gigantic win.
Yeah, especially for what we was trying to instill and what I was trying to bring to the program and just the, one thing that I believe in so wholeheartedly is that we've got to be able to compete and put ourselves in a position to win fourth quarter, and then then we'll see where the tables where the dice falls, and that's what we did that game right there, 35-36, and obviously we did that against Siegel later on in the season, because those guys from those teams from Rutherford County, they do not honor us or respect Warren County at all, and that's just the truth of the matter. And of course, hopefully, I do feel like this week's going to be a little bit different. I do feel that Rockville is, kind of like DeKalb County was a couple weeks ago. They've got us circled and they've been preparing for us.
Well, Coach, for years, the mindset in Warren County, ever since we got in the region with Rutherford County, was we can't compete with those teams.
Don't believe that.
We proved them.
Yes, sir.
You guys proved them wrong.
Yes, sir. And of course, other than one game there that we kind of fell flat on our face last season, we showed that we could go toe-to-toe with the best in Rutherford County, which last year was Oakland. And I feel like, it's going to be a good barn burner Friday night against Rockville. It's not going to be easy by no stretch of imagination. Coach has got a good program and some talented guys and experienced guys at this time, but so do we.
Rockville got them a win the other night. What is the coaching staff seeing on film that's different from Rockville this year?
Offensively, Coach Rice is a very good coach. He's got a state championship under his name. Very disciplined football. They have 4 or 5 plays on offense, but they formation you a lot. They do a lot of things to get numbers correct, and they will expose you if you do not honor them. But I know Coach Bond's been scratching his head and drawing. I mean, he's wore out a couple of dry erase markers explaining everything. Defensively, they've actually changed what they did last year. They've actually, from what I would call a 3-5-3 defense, but the only reason you run that 3-5-3 defense is because you have speed, and of course Rockville has a busload of that, I do feel. So we're going to be playing very disciplined football. We cannot have those mental mistakes and allow those penalties to set us back. And we're going to have, offensive line's going to have their eyes up because they do kind of run a 3-3 where they play a lot of guessing games and things like that. And it looks like we've got an advantage, but because of their speed, they can close that gap really, really fast.
Last year they had the Nelson brothers who were doing it all.
They was.
But they've got a lot more than that.
They do. The Nelson brothers, the starting quarterback from last year actually got beat out by a young man that the team and Coach Rice really, really think highly of. He's a real tough, hard-nosed kid. Now, number 3 is playing free safety, though, so he's on the field. And I guarantee you if we can, if the number 1 quarterback goes down, number 3 will probably be in there. So, I mean, it's not like he's not there. But yes, and a lot of those guys, I think they only graduated 3 seniors last year. And so, it's practically going to be the same team except a year better, year under their experience. The only thing I do see is I think Coach Rice installed this new offense in the spring or during this COVID downtime, so that may be an opportunity for us to expose them. Of course, they're going to have 6, 7, 8 guys in the box. I think Coach Rice actually said he's going to try to put 13 in there to stop our offense as of right now, so we'll see.
So it's Warren County traveling to Rockville in Murfreesboro this coming Friday night, 7 o'clock kickoff. Get tickets if you can. But But we'll have it live on the radio, 92.1 The Ticket. And Warren County Sports Authority will be there as well, bringing you lots of highlights and a lot of information. So for Turner Time,
That's it.
I'm Jay Walker, 92.1 The Ticket, along with Warren County Sports Authority Jeff Simmons. For Coach Matt Turner, we'll see you next time on Turner Time.